No, listen, I'm not counting anybody's money. Get all the money that you want.
Yeah.
But, one thing, the Miami Heat got criticized a lot for putting together the super team. They all took less money to play together.
Yeah.
So are you building a championship team or are you filling out your roster?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I went out to dinner last night and somebody came up to me and goes, come on, give me some good news for the Lakers. And I said, you have a good team. I just don't think you have a championship team. But your team's good. Lakers would be a good team.
No, you have LeBron, Westbrook, and AD. You're going to be good.
I would be shocked.
No idea if Anthony Davis is going to be healthy throughout the season. Yeah. History would tell you no.
I would be surprised if they're not a top 3 seed in the West. But that, again, there are teams. Can you get through, after that, 24 playoff games? We saw how physical the playoff games were. Milwaukee, Philadelphia. These are hard. Playoff games are hard. They're taxing.
It's a very long season.
And these are all. Don't confuse veterans with an antique store. There's a big difference. Milwaukee had some nice veterans. This team is old. Big difference.
And they have to be because of the way that the salary cap is set up.
Yeah. Enjoy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
So, Andy Dalton, Tyrod Taylor, Teddy Bridgewater, Ryan Fitzpatrick, they have to absolutely believe they're the guy. Can't go into it thinking, I'm a bridge quarterback. So yesterday, Andy Dalton comes out and is like, this is my team. And he got crushed for it. Here's Andy Dalton yesterday.
I know who I am. I know who I was created to be. I know where my identity lies. And so do I want the fans behind me and this team and all that kind of stuff? Yes. Do I want them behind Justin? Absolutely, I do. Justin's going to have his time, and Justin's going to have a great career. But right now, it's my time, and so my focus is on being the best player I can be for this team and do everything I can to help this team win.
I support Andy Dalton here, and Tyrod Taylor, and Teddy Bridgewater, and Ryan Fitzpatrick. Remember when Ryan Fitzpatrick got replaced by Tua? And I remember on the air, I'm like, well, yeah. Yeah, of course. But remember how it landed for Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I was shocked by it. It definitely caught me off guard. And my heart just hurt all day. Like it was heartbreaking for me. And that's the decision and the direction that the organization is going in. And obviously, we've talked in the past, me and you guys, about, how I'm the placeholder and this eventually was going to happen no matter. It was just a matter of kind of when, not if.
Let me support Ryan and Tyrod Taylor and Teddy Bridgewater. To be a pro athlete, a quarterback, an alpha position, you've absolutely got to believe you can play, you can lead these men, you can lead these players, you can lead the franchise. These are all earnest, genuine, good guys. Tyrod Taylor, once again, finds himself in a spot. Looks like he's going to be the starter. He was going to be the starter for the Chargers 2 years ago, and there was a medical mishap, and then Justin Herbert got it and replaced him. And I know, I look at this, and I think, it's kind of delusional. How do they? And I think, wait a minute. They've got to think that way. You have to think that way. The sport's too hard to have no confidence or to question yourself or to think the guy you're competing against is better. I mean, there's 3 stages for a quarterback in the NFL. When you're young and cheap, they love you. When you're in your prime and expensive, they tolerate you. The minute you show weakness, see ya. Love you, tolerate you, see ya. Andy Dalton, Tyrod Taylor, Teddy Bridgewater, Ryan Fitzpatrick. They have to absolutely believe this is my moment and my team. I don't think you can be a quarterback in the NFL thinking and doing it any other way. And I would still start Dalton week 1 against the Rams. Joy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Well, the Seahawks left in Jamal Adams with a contract extension this week. The next player hoping to get their deal done is left tackle Dwayne Brown. There hasn't been any positive progress between him and the team, but Russell Wilson is confident that it will get done.
You always want your star left tackle out there, so just trusting the process, hoping that it works out, because we definitely need him. That'd be huge for us. He's been one of the best in the game, obviously. He's our leader up front. He's one of those guys that can really, demonstrate the game, how the game's supposed to be played. So, I think it's going to work out. That's what I'm hoping for, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I would get it done. This is got a few texts yesterday on this subject.
Oh, some sources?
Well, people are talking in the league. People noticed that they got the Jamal thing done fast, a box safety, and the left tackle not quite. So it's not lost on many in the league that Pete wrapped up the trade guy that he wanted. Nothing against Jamal, by the way. They need playmakers.
No, and they had to pay him for what they gave up for him.
Yeah, exactly. When you give up that much, which, by the way, John Snyder was not. Pete made that deal happen. 2 firsts and a third and a player for a great safety, but a safety. That's rich for a safety. So now they're kind of cornered. Like, you have to get it done. Otherwise, it looks like you just it was a 1-year deal, didn't work. But it's I would say in the league, people are monitoring this and are aware that the left tackle, number one ally outside of maybe a star receiver for a quarterback, is got a little issue.
Well, also, if you look at your division, how are you winning without a solid left tackle?
In that division?
Yeah.
You're not.
Right.
You're not.
So contracts and who gets paid first and all that stuff is different for every team and every player in every situation, right? So it's not that Jamal Adams doesn't have extreme value and that he shouldn't get paid or wasn't going to get paid. But when you talk about Russell Wilson being sacked 394 times, more than any other quarterback through their first 9 seasons.
And he's
it's
mobile.
Be pretty important to him that his left tackle is out on the field with him. And Dwayne Brown, he's 36 going into his 14th NFL season. But, like Russell said, it doesn't matter. He's still playing at a high level. He's not saying you need to give him a 10-year contract, but he's in the 3rd year of a 3-year deal. And he's going to be an unrestricted free agent next season. He's currently the 16th highest paid left tackle this season. So you need to get the deal done.
Yeah.
And, to your point, people around the league are paying attention to it. Your own team is paying attention to it.
Sure.
People in the locker room pay attention to these things. Okay, yes, obviously happy for Jamal that he got paid. He should have got paid. He was going to get paid.
Yeah.
But when you do, the order of these contracts matters. If you look at the situation with the Dallas Cowboys, don't you think the Dallas Cowboys, if they could run it back, would have paid Dak before they paid Zeke?
Of course. By the way, KJ Wright wants a lot of money from the Seahawks. He's not going to get it, nor should he. And I like KJ Wright, but they've got good young linebackers, and linebacker doesn't matter as much as left tackle. So the Seahawks are having to make decisions, and I like KJ Wright, but the Raiders want him, the Seahawks want him. And my takeaway is sometimes he's not as good, and his position's not as valuable, so we've all got to make decisions in these leagues. I just think the Dwayne Brown thing, it's not lost on the league. It's being talked about. It's also,
I'm sure, not lost on Russell Wilson. And we saw what happened the beginning of the offseason with Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. If they don't get this deal done, if he does hold out, if it does end up being an issue throughout the season, isn't it entirely possible that they're back in the same situation at the beginning of next offseason if it doesn't go well? So you have to look at the big picture of things. Again, Jamal Adams was going to get paid regardless, but when you pay him absolutely matters, and you're going into this season where you're in a position to be Super Bowl contenders, you got to make decisions accordingly. So the Broncos have a true quarterback competition between Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater in camp this season. We were just talking about Teddy. Head coach Vic Fangio is almost ready to choose a starter.
Oh, he is.
He said he's pretty damn close to making a decision. But they still have more information to get in this week's preseason game. They played the Seahawks on Saturday. Drew Lock, week 1, was 5 of 7, 151 yards and 2 touchdowns. Teddy Bridgewater, 7 of 8, 74 yards, 1 touchdown.
It's funny. So I have, in a lot of instances, Joy, like I am Darnold initially over Justin Fields. I would prefer Trevor Lawrence and Zach could sit for a while, but they won't. But in these situations where it's young guy, like Trey Lance, I am Garoppolo over Trey.
Sure.
Dalton, not as good as Jimmy, but good, over Justin. This is an example where I would go with Drew Lock, and here's why. He's not a rookie. He's been around the league. You have got to now figure out really quickly, like in September, can he play?
Yeah.
This is not a rookie anymore. He's got multiple starts. And I love Teddy. I do. But the bottom line here is, Teddy's not the future. You don't know if Drew is. The babysitting's over. I am taking the binky out. Drew Lock, it is your team, and I'm going to give you 5 starts. So, like this situation, by the way, I think this talent on this team is good enough that they could be a playoff team, and maybe Teddy in the moment is a little more capable of avoiding things. But you drafted Drew Lock. You got to figure stuff. Sometimes in life, you just got to figure crap out, and it may be bumpy, but okay, that's not going to work for us. It is time for Denver to just say, Drew, here's September.
I also don't know that Drew is psychologically capable of not being named a starter and coming back from it, whereas we know that Teddy is. So I'm with you. I think you got to find out. We know what Teddy Bridgewater is at this point.
Yes.
But the problem that these coaches run into,
they want to win the games.
They want to win the games
today
because Vic Fangio is somebody that needs to win games.
Total hot seat.
And if you want to keep your locker room, you've got to put the guy that best gives you an opportunity